Tonight, we're taking game night up a notch. We don't need a board, and we do not need pieces.
We won't need any extra rudeness, either.
Someone in this room is going to be taken.
Oh, it's a murder mystery party.
Fun! Whoever finds the victim wins the grand prize, the keys to the Stingray.
Just the keys?
No, Ryan, the whole car.
Oh,
You're not gonna know what's real and what's fake.
Is this gun real?
Oh, no, Andy.
Oh, oh my God, I shot you!
What the?
I've always enjoyed the camaraderie of good friends. Often we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone.
Oh, because your wife left you. Shit.
Aloha. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad, the Island Man. Today I went ahead and I'm finally going to go ahead and film my reaction and my review of of the movie Date Night, starring Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman. Now, remember our rating scale. Shock a thumbs up. It is a good movie. I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's junk. It's bad. I don't recommend it. And essentially for Date Night, I have to give it a shock a thumbs up. Now, this was a smaller opening movie. Only getting for the box office weekend last Friday of maybe 13, 14 million for the entire box office opening. But then again, it is a smaller film. It's no Black Panther by far. You know, and basically just kind of a straight up comedy. If you've seen something like Date Night with Steve Carell, you know, this is very similar to that, I felt, in the fact that, you know, it involves, you know, a couple, you know, a married couple, getting together with their friends, and instead of a date, they do these things called game nights. Now, how can I explain this movie? In my Instagram, I went ahead and I said it is a merging of both Date Night and She's Having a Baby, which was an older, I think 90s, maybe late 80s film with Kevin Bacon. You know, also kind of a romantic comedy. Now, essentially, Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams, they are a couple. They are a married couple. Basically, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, you see how they met, how they got together, and basically that explains how competitive by nature these two individuals are. You know, both a little bit with one another, and also their friends, as they get together on a weekly basis, you know, maybe on the weekends, Friday nights or whatever, and they host, you know, a big game night, fun thing, you know, trivia, pursuit, Scrabble, you know, you name it, they do it, you know, Monopoly with all their friends. Very much, you know, I had been a part of that world for a little bit back in the 80s and 90s. So this movie to me felt very familiar in that sense. Even as they up the ante with Jason Bateman's brother coming to town, a richer, more successful, very much, again, akin to She's Having a Baby, Kevin Bacon's brother in there, being more rich, more successful, maybe a hotter wife, a hotter girlfriend, choosing not to get married, just going for the hot girl at the time. Although secretly, deep down, you know, the brother is envious of, you know, the brother who seems to have less because it's real. Very much like that older movie. And in this one, and again, whereas on the flip side, the Jason Bateman character, and the Kevin Bacon character in that older movie, is envious of their older brother, who appears more successful, more together, seems to have whatever they want, etc., etc. And thus you have the conflict. The brother umps the ante on these days, on these games, days that they have the game, into a murder mystery. Now, I have also participated in one of these murder mystery games, and they're lots of fun. This goes awry, though. As it turns out to be apparently a real murder mystery, whereas it was supposed to be a fake one. Well, not maybe a murder mystery, but it was a kidnapping, and there is murder in the movie, so so don't be too surprised with that. So, but again, the stakes go way up. And part of the comedy is that they don't realize that it's not a game anymore, and they continue to play the game. And, I found that I thought it would be a little bit more interesting if, if maybe they had held off on knowing that it was a game for so long. Because right away they seem to, they solve the game, because that's how good these people are, Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, together, both are so competitive. It's almost amazing how they got together, because they're so competitive. But together they're an unbeatable game team, essentially. And so they solve it right away, and they discover that it's not a game. And then, everything again goes awry. That's the twist of the film. That's the twist of the movie, along with some other twists. Again, it is a shock and thumbs up. It was a funny comedy, but again, a bit of a retread from what I had seen in the past. And it really doesn't cover any new ground. Plus, I thought it had too many side plots. There's one with Denzel Washington, which is slightly humorous, but really goes nowhere. And again, there's another side plot, which is essentially why I say this film is like She's Having a Baby from the 80s or 90s with Kevin Bacon, is that there's a struggle between the couple that, they want to have a baby, they're trying to have a baby, but they can't. I don't know exactly why, and it's not really explained, but outside of more psychological, and you find out that it's, of course, the man, Jason Bateman, saying, well, this is going to cut down my competitive edge, essentially. Well, it goes that route, that it's like, well, with a kid, we can't have these game nights, we can't do whatever we want anymore, which is, a big concern with couples, deciding to have a baby with, that's a big step for people. And, you've really got to communicate that as, with your partner in a relationship. That goes without saying. However, it also takes a side twist that, the real cause of it is that he's envious of his brother. His brother didn't have a kid, and he's super successful and rich and blah, blah, blah. And I guess he feels that the kid would slow him down, I guess. Slow down the couple, the power couple, I guess. But, and of course she doesn't feel that way. She wants the child, which kind of is a bit in the face of her competitive nature and what drew these two characters together, I feel. It kind of does a disservice to that just because she's the woman, she wants the kid. Maybe a twist on that would have been better, saying that she was the one that didn't want to have the child. That would have been more of an interesting twist maybe for the film. But, again, and then there's another side plot with a neighbor, a creepy neighbor that is involved in this game that kind of forces himself into game night and, friendship and etc., which, is humorous, is funny. But again, I think if they would have just focused on what this movie was and what, you know, the straight line forward plot of it was. I think they could have enhanced it a little bit more like that. And, you know, it would have been a little bit more enjoyable. So I agree with that 13, 14 million for the box office. It's going to stick around for a while. This is definitely a movie to watch on streaming, Netflix at home, or definitely at the matinee, or the $6 at Regal on Tuesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at, you know, consolidated for that $7. But I wouldn't pay full price for it. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad the Island Man giving you his late review of Game Night as a shock a thumbs up, but maybe just not full price. All right, thank you so much. And again, aloha.